Hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Tonight I'm going to do something very special. I want to show everyone out there a neat trick that someone showed me many years ago. Some of you may know it, some of you may not know this. But I'm going to show you how to make your cymbals sound better. Old vintage cymbals that have flea bites or burrs on the edge of the cymbals will distort the cymbal, and it will actually, make it sound muffled. It won't be as resonance that it should be when you buy them new. A lot of new cymbals, they don't have any imperfections or any burrs or flea bites on the edges of the cymbal. So it allows it to resonate at full and make it sound full, crash, and resonate and sustain really long. But what happens is over time when you're playing your sticks and you're hitting the edges of these cymbals for a long period of time, especially these 1970s, it builds up and they get the flea bites and little nicks and burrs. It builds up, and I want to teach everyone out there a new trick. Like I said, some of these might know this, but I learned this from an old jazz guy. And he said what they did was they would carry a little piece of this, and you can buy this at any hardware store. It usually comes in a roll. And all you do is you take this, you go around the edges of the cymbals with it, and you clean. Especially this one here is really damaged, really bad. I just got this one today. I just unpacked this one. I received it today. And this is a 1974, and it really is really bad with nicks. And they call these flea bites on the edges of the cymbal. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really bad right here on this edge here. And it has quite, many of them on there. It's really worse than what I thought it was. But this is a 2002 Black Label Vintage 74, and like I said, I just got it. It's in pretty rough shape. Now what I'll do to these, like I said, is I'll take that emery cloth. It's a piece of emery cloth. They usually come in a roll. And I'll take emery cloth usually, and what I do, I usually take my seat, or I'll do it on the ground or something, but I just want to demonstrate on the seat so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. You take the piece of emery cloth and you put it on the edge of the cymbal, and you just take it and you spin it. And you can hear I'm taking metal off of this edge of this cymbal. Okay? This is a neat trick that I want to share with everyone out there. This will save you lots of money. Instead of buying new cymbals all the time, you can buy vintage cymbals. And you take these burrs and these flea bites out of these cymbals. Now, I was told from an old jazz guy, back in the day, in recessions and everything, they didn't have lots of money, so they would keep some, pieces of this in their cymbal bag, and then after gigs they would take it and run across cymbals at the end of the night and put it in their cymbal bag. So like I said, this is a piece of emery cloth, and you just, like I said, where there's nicks, burrs, and flea bites, you just go around the cymbal, the edge. I usually just spin it, because then it kind of equally takes off. As I'm doing it, it equally takes the same amount in a circular motion, which makes it more symmetrical and round, instead of working in one area too much like that. But if it's really deep and really bad, sometimes you will have to really work on it and get those flea bites out of there. But what a really neat trick, and will save you lots of money down the road. I figured Donzo would share some of his knowledge to people out there that don't know this. And I was taught this, like I said, so I figured it would be a cool thing to share this with some of you younger kids that probably don't know about this. This is an old, wise, older tip
you know, that I learned from, like I said, a jazz drummer. And it's really helped me out over the years of buying old Zildjians and old pasties and, you know, some of these cymbals from the 40s and the 50s. And I have a big block 22 ride that I had to really work on. I only paid $75 for it. It was a 21-inch K. I paid $75 for it, and you know, I did this and took care of it and worked. It was a workhorse. I mean, it took me a while to work on it, and I played with it many years, gigging out, you know, and then I turned around and sold it for like $700 because it was a vintage K, and you know, so you never know what you got. You know, after you work on it, get all the burrs out of it. And then a lot of times I will clean my cymbals if they're really bad. In this case, this cymbal is really, really bad. I'll probably will buy some pasty cleaner and clean it a little bit. Now, these 2002s, they did have a coating on them that you're not supposed to clean them. They say it changes the sound of the cymbal. And I believe that it does when you first get the cymbal, when you got the black lettering and it's got that coating on it. You shouldn't clean it. But, you know, a cymbal that's, you know, 40 years old and it's really, you know, in bad shape. You know, if you like your cymbals clean and bright, I'd recommend go ahead and clean it. If you're one of those guys that like them dirty because they are quieter, darker in the studio, and you don't want to clean them, and you want to keep that, you know, vintage look and patina, you know, then you don't clean them. You know, that's your preference. Me, myself, I look at it like this. I'm a Buddy Rich fan. He never played dirty cymbals. Always played his cymbals clean, because he was a big band drummer, so he wanted to look good, his cymbals be clean, and he wanted them bright and loud because he's playing with a 100-piece orchestra. So, you know, it's all a matter of preference. I like my cymbals clean. I don't like dirty cymbals, especially the edges, like I'm working on this right now to get, like I said, these flea bites out of here. And a lot of yous are going to be like, what is he doing? You know, but don't be scared to do it. Believe me, once you do it, and you play it before and you play it after, you get all these flea bites, and you watch how much more lively and open your cymbal will be. You'll be like, wow. And you were like thinking that you needed new cymbals and you were going to sell it to a guitar store or whatever. And guitar store owners love it when kids do, you know, they have flea bites, and they love it when you bring it in and they chew down, and then they go ahead in the back room and they do this and take it out and sell it for a lot more money than you thought it was worth. So store owners are going to be hating me right now teaching you this valuable trick here, but I thought it would be really cool to share this on my channel and help some of you people out there. Like I said, I'm about helping people, showing them things, and I don't mind sharing some of my tricks that I developed over the years. This is starting to get a lot of these flea bites out of there. It's really working good. And then what I do, I'm doing it right now, I'm going around the whole thing, but then you also have to do the bottom edge, and you also have to do the top edge. So when you do the bottom edge, you know, you get it on the slant there, and then you would do the bottom, and then you would go around the bottom, because there's a really bad nick, which will cause it to crack. And then the top, you know, I just flip it on the top side and just go around it. And it's going to take you a little bit. You're going to have to work on it. Sometimes it might take you a half an hour. It might take you an hour to work on it, you know. Take a little bit, take a break, get something to drink, whatever, you know, wash your hands, because your hands start hurting after a while when you do it. But you're going to have to do it with your hands. And but this cymbal didn't sound too bad before I started working on it, but I tried it against my ones that I've already previously worked on and got them all really nice. Like I said, these are all 70s, and as a matter of fact, I worked on all of them the other night, and found that my 22 actually had a little bit of buildup from neglecting it and not cleaning them previously, you know, and you have to, once in a while, you have to do this to keep your cymbals from building up and causing them potential to crack. So this is a really good tip to keep your cymbals from cracking, especially you hard players out there, metal players that like to really slam your cymbals. This is something you really want to take a look at and do this to your cymbals every once in a while to keep them from cracking. All you really super hard players out there. Now, me myself, when I was younger, I used to play a lot harder. I used to play with the Bobby Rock double, butt end sticks at one time, and I used to break them over Chinas when I was younger. And I learned a little bit more finesse in just using the whip and just the flip of the wrist when you hit your cymbals. That's all you really need, because your cymbals are only going to be so loud, and they're only going to crescendo out and resonate at their own volume. No matter how hard you hit them, they're not going to get any louder. It's a cool look when you see guys slamming them and everything, but it doesn't really help your cymbals, and you break them. And if you don't have an endorsement and you have to pay out of your pocket in these cymbals, you get quite expensive. So in my opinion, you want to take care of your gear. So get yourself some emery cloth and do this trick with your cymbals. And like I said, I just bought this one. I paid $110 with shipping, so that's not too bad for this 18-inch 2002 Black Label, 1974. That's a 6-digit. It starts with 4, so it's a 1974. But this is starting to shape up. It's going to take me quite some time. I'm probably not going to let this video waste everybody's time too long, but I wanted to show everyone this trick, and you won't be disappointed once you do it and you get your cymbals, and they do sound really good. Like I said, once you start working on them. Sounding better already. When I first got it, it didn't resonate that much. Now here's my other one. And then this is the one I just got. They sound good together. They're definitely different. This one's darker. Which is really cool, because I like them when they sound different. I don't want them to sound the same. And pasty is one of the most consistent sounding cymbals. Back in the day, the Switzerland German machinists are really good. And that was my first cymbals that I started playing, was pasty. And then I went to Zildjians and Sabians and Meinl, and I played a lot of different cymbals to try them out, but I think my favorites for rock would be pasties. A lot of metal guys, Dave Lombardo, and older guys, Nico McBrain from Maiden, Judas Priest, and all those hard-hitting metal guys back in the day were playing pasty. So I'm really fond of the pasties, and I've had them all: 3000, 2002s, 2000s, Reflector Series, Giant Beats, 602s, Signatures. I've had 602 Modern Essentials, which is Vinnie Callahan's signature cymbals. I've had so many different series and cymbals, but this is really starting to work really good. I can't wait to get done it. But anyway, I just wanted to share this tip with everyone. I'm going to continue working with it, but it's going to take me quite some time. And I take little breaks, increments. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. And sometimes you're going to get something on your cherry, want to wipe it off. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe if you like. And I'm going to have more tips and different tricks and showing people, and eventually I'll get to tuning and lots of different things. And I know you've all seen it out there and seen different people
do this and do that. Everybody has their own methods of doing things. And I've been playing for 42 years coming up, so I've got a lot of experience, over the years, and I've played a lot of places over the years, a lot of playing out, a lot of bands, and that's what I did. I've been playing out since I was 17 years of age in bands, so I've done it for a long time, and I've learned different ways and the tuning methods and, tuning bobs and all that, but I kind of like it with the ear. I have a tuning method that I do, basically by tension, and we'll get that to another time. I'll show some different tuning methods and some different things, but until next time, I hope you enjoyed the video, and do yourself a favor, go out and go to your any local hardware store, and you can get some, people don't think it's sandpaper. I mean, it's like sandpaper, but you want to get that. And like I said, they come in rolls, and you just work on those flea bites with a little piece, and just go around it. But over and out. See you next time. Take care.